Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about goals and doors and manifesting the right intentions, the right desires, the right goals. In the past, when I was first manifesting, I had a very different belief than I have now. And this came with experience. This came with my journey and seeing when I set intentions, how things came into fruition and the results of those manifestations. And so what I mean here when we're talking about goals and doors, which is a chapter in Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand. If you haven't checked out this book, you need to read it. It's changed my life. A lot of the principles that I practice, that I've incorporated into my methods, and that I talk about here come from Reality Transurfing, albeit paired with Neville Goddard and all the other different manifestation techniques and methodologies out there. However, in the chapter Goals and Doors, he talks about how you open those doors and manifesting the right intentions. And so I pulled out a very powerful section of the book. I'm going to start by reading it, and then I'm going to explain how this showed up in my life and how it changed the way that I manifest, because I feel like this speaks so highly to why intuition is the foundation that you need for manifestation. If you don't have a strong belief and system and way to tap into your intuition where you are getting real and reliable results, this is your downfall. This is preventing you from getting what you want and getting the right things. And so I am just going to read here this snippet. It's from one of the first pages in the Goals and Doors chapter, if you're looking for it on your own, in Reality Transurfing book. The problem is that a false goal, however attractive it may seem, ultimately will not bring you anything but disappointment. When you chase after a false goal, you either achieve nothing, your efforts simply providing feed for pendulums, or you achieve the goal but discover it was not really what you wanted after all. And I have a really good example to share with you. So I'm going to take a big, giant step back. My understanding of intentions and manifestations when I first started this journey was that if it came into your awareness, it is your goal, your intention, and you should go for it. And part of this is true and part of this is not true. So when you have an idea that comes into your mind and you want to manifest it, it is available to you on a life track. It wouldn't be in your awareness if it wasn't in a potential on a lifeline that you could get to. And this takes you all the way back to the theory, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but to sum it down really into just a few nuggets, there is an infinite number of lifelines, of life tracks that you could be on. And when we are visualizing and going through the manifestation process, we are lining up with those lifelines, with those potentials. Now, if you are here and there's a potential that's way up here, it might take you longer to get there. There might be more transitions needed. If you are going from here to here, it might be easier, like with the flip of a switch, you can get there really quickly. So with that understanding, if something is in your awareness, do I still believe, yes, you could get there? I do. In this snippet from Vadim Zealand, he does say, you either achieve nothing or it's not really what you want. So he believes in his book that maybe you won't get it at all. And there are probably cases where it's in your awareness, you want to manifest it, you start working towards it, and maybe you won't because things change, because along the way you decide maybe this doesn't line up with where I want to go, or it presents itself in a little bit different way than you intended. But what I will say, in my experience, what I have learned is that when you get there, it may not be as satisfying as you thought. I said this in one of my videos earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week. There was something I was working on that I wanted a big SUV. This is what I wanted. And I was visualizing and working really hard to get that big SUV. When I say working really hard, you know what I mean, like doing all the things for manifesting. I wasn't really working that hard for it to fall into place. And this was something, and I always drove a really, really small car. I had a Honda Fit. I have always had a small sedan, and that's what I felt comfortable driving. I always had a small car. I've always kind of enjoyed being able to like zip around and get into little parking spaces. And I never had any trouble with lugging my kids around. I had my son playing hockey and all his hockey stuff in there along with 3 friends and a baby. And I never had any trouble with that. But everybody and their brother drives a large SUV. That's what I was seeing pulling up, in the school line. That's what I was seeing. And I don't know why, but I assume I was swayed to want this large SUV just based on what everybody else was doing rather than my intuition. Does this really line up with me, my personality, what I'm comfortable with, what I want for me and my life? So down the line, a couple years, I manifested not the exact make and model, but a large SUV. And do I love the car, the way it drives, the way it feels? Yes, it's the most responsive car that I ever had. I love the car, but it's too big for me. I cannot park the thing. I feel uncomfortable going down narrow streets, and it's not something I enjoy driving. It isn't something that it makes me happy and all the feelings I thought it was going to make me feel. And that's just one example when my intention wasn't really lined up with what I wanted. And had I taken a step back, tapped into my intuition, and clarified what it is I want in a vehicle before I manifested that, I probably would have had a different outcome. I probably would have visualized a different vehicle and not had the struggle that I've had with that vehicle. And there have been other examples too in my life where it's like, okay, you get where you want to be and it doesn't feel as nice and great as what you had hoped for. And so this is my challenge to you. As you are clarifying your intentions, tap into your intuition, use those skills. Is this for me, or is this a pendulum that's hooking me? Am I being influenced by anything else? Because either, as Vadim Zeland says, you will either achieve nothing or your efforts simply providing feed for pendulums, which is exactly where I fell into in this situation. Now, am I thankful and grateful I worked on something and it showed up in my life? Yes. Am I grateful that I have the opportunity to have this vehicle? Yes. And am I manifesting something that I'm more comfortable in? Yes, that as well. So if you feel like it's very difficult for you to tap into your intuition and know with certainty what your intuition is telling you, I have you covered there. This is my wheelhouse, where I started on my manifesting journey, and everything that you need to fully tap in is in the description. This is step 1 of manifesting, step 1 of your spiritual journey. It's really important. It is the basis for everything, that you get in tune with your intuition. So you can ask your intuition a question and know exactly, without a doubt, it's not your anxiety talking. It is not your mind making it up. And I go through very clear examples of how you know. And practice is the key always. And in my free ebook and my training, I go through loads and loads of examples. So if you haven't gotten that down, Start there. It's really important, and it will help you immensely on your manifestation journey. So let me know if this situation has happened to you where you were intending for something and it was not your intention. It was not meant for you. It's a better way to put it. Let me know how this resonated with you. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified whenever I post new videos. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll catch you next time.